Hi, this is Mr. Eaton with Year 7 video lesson 1.5, and in this lesson we're going to be looking at multiplication. And as always, remember to record some important information in your study notes section of your exercise books, and to stop the video when required to make some notes and or to complete some of the practice questions. Alright, so let's start the lesson. Well, before we get going, you will often be told to find the product of two numbers. All product means is multiplication. That's all. Multiplication of two numbers is the product. Multiplication of two numbers represents repeated addition. So for example, if we had 4 multiplied by 2, we could say that that is exactly the same as 4 groups of 2. So 2 add 2 add 2 add 2. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 2, which is represented by this value over here. Now in multiplication, we also can apply the commutative law for multiplication. So 4 by 2 can also be written as 2 by 4. Alright, so 2 lots of 4, so 4 plus 4. And if you have a look at both of these answers, this one over here, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, that is going to give us 8. And this one over here, which is 2 times 4, that is also going to give us the answer of 8. So that is called the commutative, A-T-I-V-E, commutative law for multiplication. Now 4 by 2 can also be represented in an array. An array is basically a pictorial drawing. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, as represented by the 4, and we have 2 groups of those. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are, well, that is a pictorial representation of 4 by 2 as an array. 2 by 4, which is the commutative law of that, gives us this. Gives us 4 groups of 2, which are essentially the same, aren't they? So that's the commutative law of multiplication as represented by an array. So the commutative law for multiplication means that the order over here doesn't actually matter, as long as we don't have any other signs such as a divide or addition or subtraction and so on. If it's pure multiplication, doesn't matter what the order is, our answers are going to be the same. Now in multiplication, if we had 2 times 5 times 4, for example, we could also write that as 4 times 5 by 2. And this is actually called the associative, T-I-V-E, associative law for multiplication. So the associative law for multiplication means that it doesn't matter which pair is multiplied by first. So if we had, as we had 3 by 5 by 4, we could actually multiply 3 by 5 first. So I'll just put those in the brackets, times by 4. So 3 by 5 is 15 by 4. 15 by 4 gives us 60. But if I change the order and I went 4 by 5 by 3, so I'm just going to put 4 by 5 in brackets first, times by 3, I could say 4 5s are 20 multiplied by 3. 3 lots of 20 is going to give me 60. So it gives me exactly the same answer as we had previously. If there's one piece of advice I would give you, very important for you to know your tables by heart, every single one of them, up to probably the 10 times table is probably okay, 12 times table would be really good, but 10 times table for sure. Know them off by heart, backwards, forwards, upside down, the wrong way around, you name it. You're going to need it for multiplication, addition, subtraction, division, BIMDAS, everything that you do in mathematics. You're going to need your tables. Learn them, get to know them. Alright, so let's do some single digit multiplication practice. If I wanted to multiply 23 by 4, this is how I would set it up. This is how I want you to set it up every single time. Note that I have my 1s over here and I have my 10s down here, and that will become important when we do our multiplication. Alright, so let's calculate this out. First of all, we're going to do our 1s. So 4 multiplied by 3 1s. 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. Rightio. Then we want to have a look at the next number, which is this one over here. So 4 multiplied by 2 must give us 8, and we've got to add that little 1 in over there. So 4 by 2 is 8 plus 1 gives us 9. Now if we have a look at how I've set it out, I've got my 1s over here, alrighty, and I have my 10s over here, and they're absolutely in line with where these guys are over here, the 1s and the 10s. That's how I need you to set it out every single time. Right, it's your turn to have a go. How about doing this one over here? 31 multiplied by 4. And have a go at this one over here, which is 197 multiplied by 7. Change that to a 7. There we go. Pause the video, give it a go. Set it out properly. Right, so how do you go? Well, let me set this one out properly first. So I'd have 31 multiplied by 4. So 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 times 3 is 12. So note that I've got my 1s under my 1s column, my 10s under my 10s column, and if I add hundreds, and I had to in this case, I've got my hundreds under my hundreds column. How do you go with the other one? 197 multiplied by 7. So 7 sevens are 49. 7 times 9 add 4 gives me 67, and 7 times 1 plus the 6 gives me 13. Now if I have a look at this, remember I've got my 1s under my 1s column, I've got my 10s under my 10s column, I've got my hundreds under my hundreds column, and thousands under my thousands column. If you got those right, well done. So that pretty much ends single digit multiplication. I hope you got these particular examples right, these ones over here. If you did, you won't have any problems with double digit multiplication, which we'll get to later. Alright, see you later.